Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the Daily Roundup on your home channel, NBC1. Weekly water watch figures for the time frame of the 24th to the 30th of October 2023 indicated that we exceeded our water consumption target by 27%. Now, this means that we need to put more effort into saving water and avoiding water-intensive activities. To talk more on this, we are joined by the Public Relations Officer at the City of Windhoek, Ms. Lydia Amutenya. Ms. Amutenya, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
What are some of the main ways that households use water?
Well, at the household level, mainly your water is used for drinking, washing, and in some instances, watering gardens for those that have gardens. Others also for washing cars, and those that have swimming pools to fill up their swimming pools or jacuzzis, whichever infrastructure they have at their household level. But mainly those are the basic usage of water at the household level.
Very well. And now water watch figures, of course, indicate that we have exceeded the consumption target by 27%. So how now can households reduce their water usage without sacrificing their daily routines?
Yes, indeed, there are so many ways in which we can, at the household level, measure or put up measures to reduce our water consumption without sacrificing the routine. One of that is to make sure that we put up measures to reduce evaporation, especially for people that have swimming pools or jacuzzis. Also, the other way is to invest in water-efficient equipment. For instance, if you go to the building shops where you buy your building equipment, you ask for water-efficient equipment, and they will show you which ones are those. Okay, they are a bit pricey at times compared to the standard ones, but the investment is actually long-term, because from there on, then you will only be able to use water as you really need it, as compared to the standard equipment that sometimes also waste a lot of water. And if you are, this is also very important, especially if you are maybe renovating at the moment, or you want to replace your taps or your toilet pots or your shower heads. This is the time to really look at those water-efficient equipment in the shops. So you can also then request that, because when you go to most of these building shops, they will show you the various or the variety. Then you can choose from any of those ones that you can afford, for both your outside taps, to your shower, to your toilet pots, and then you'll start seeing some difference. So as I mentioned, the investment will definitely pay off in the long term.
Very well. And what are some of the common misconceptions about water conservation at household level?
Well, the general one, especially here in Windhoek, is that people believe that when it's raining, or if it rains, no matter how much it rains, whether it's just a little bit or so, they feel that most of the people sometimes feel that it's not important to save water because they saw it was raining, so there should be enough water. But the fact of the matter is that even if with a heavy rain sometimes, or consistent rainfall, water sometimes is limited, because not all the water that we see ends up in the catchment areas where the dams that are serving us are situated. And thus, the saving water should be a lifestyle, and not just something that we do when we feel like there's not enough water in the dams that is serving us, or when the dams are running dry, like in these instances where we are talking about the only dam that is supplying us water is running low, and we need to do something about it. The other issue is that there are some people that believe that if they can afford to pay their municipal bill, water shouldn't be a problem. However, the fact is that if the source from which we are getting our water is depleted, no matter how much money you have, the consequences will be dire. And therefore, it's very important to work hard and save water while we still have a little bit of water to save.
And how then can households measure their water usage and track their progress in reducing it?
Well, the first one is measuring through your municipal bill. When you get your bill at the end of the month, it definitely tells you how much you are consuming. However, that might be too late because then it means you are already leading to your pockets to pay for water that you might not have used because either you have a leak somewhere in your household that you have not, in your property that you have not picked up, or there's some sort of water wastage activities that are going on there. Like maybe people are washing, they are not washing a full load. If they are washing with a machine, and if they are washing with hands, they are washing and they are wasting a lot of water. You can also check on a daily basis to measure how much water you are using at the household level. By checking your meter, of course, you record the numbers on the meter. Let's say in the morning, you record in the numbers of the meter in the morning, and maybe 7 o'clock in the afternoon, you come back to the meter to check again the numbers that you find there to determine how much water you are using per day. And by the end of the week, you can be able to determine that you are using so much water and you need to reduce. Now, when you start reducing your water usage, it doesn't mean you must compromise on the quality of your standard of living. However, it only means that you need to cut down on excessive water usage activities. For instance, instead of washing 2 or 3 clothes, you need to only wash when you have a full load. And then instead of watering your gardens like we usually do under normal circumstances, you need to cut down on that one and only water your gardens once or twice a week, or depending on the type of garden you have. Because we have been advising our residents to have dry gardens instead of our normal gardens that we have because of our current situation. And with the current heat, really having a garden that you water every day is not going to be sustainable. So you need really to relook into such things. And for bigger trees that do not really need water every day, you can water it once a week, and then it can still go. But for gardening, we suggest that you only start planting again in January when it starts raining, and maybe you can control a small garden. But for now, it's really a waste of water, and we should desist from doing that. And of course, when you're washing your car, you don't have to wash your car with with a hose pipe. You can use a bucket, or you can take your car to a car wash that has a drainage system that is also rechanneling the water back into the system. So those are some of the key things that we can look at the household level to measure our water usage in progress.
Right. And if we look at some water-saving technologies and practices for households, which of them do you think are most effective?
Well, the first, as I mentioned earlier, is to invest into the water-efficient equipment. The benefit, you may not see it immediately, but you definitely start seeing it maybe after a month or so, that there is a difference. So that is when you buy the water-efficient equipment at your household level. The other way around is also to make sure, like it's a traditional way of doing things. When you are bathing, for instance, even especially during winter, we are now in summer, but when some people are bathing, they don't want the first bunch of water that comes out that is a bit cold. They want the warm water, and that water goes to waste. So some will have a bucket collecting the first water that they can use for something else. And then also when you are washing, the water that you use to rinse your clothes also, you can use that water again then to either use it for your plants or to use it for something else that you don't have to waste water completely. So those are some of the measures that you can also look at. But people with prepaid water meters are also benefiting quite a lot, because that meter is also able to kind of alert you at times when you have a water leak in your property. It kind of gives you that alert that there is high water consumption that is going on. Please, you need to investigate. And that is also really working very well. But the traditional one is really to check your meter on a daily, if possible, or weekly basis to see if there is any leakages. Because if you close all the water outlets in your house and you go to check on your meter and you see that those numbers are actually moving, then it means there is potentially a leakage that is going on in your property, and you need to investigate it and fix it promptly. So it's really important that we go back to the basics. And that is really important because it saves a lot of water, and it also saves you a lot of money.
Ms. Lina Mutenya, thank you so much for making the time to talk to us about this issue. And of course, we wish you all the best to get more information on water levels. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was Ms. Lydia Mutenya from the City of Windhoek just talking to us about the figures that has, of course, exceeded by 27%. Now, in order to reduce the amount of water you use, please check your property leaks for leaks and fix them immediately. You are also advised to report any municipal pipe burst or leaks to the municipal customer contact center, that is at 061 290 3777, 291 290, 061 290 3777. Or you can send them an email at inquiry@windhoekcc.org.na. Daily Roundup has more interviews coming your way. Don't go away.